Hello Dairy Today viewers. On behalf of the advisors here at Stewart Peterson, I'm Melissa Heaney with your weekend review for October 4th, 2013. Let's take a closer look at the CME dairy components for this week. Blocks and barrels both settled up. Blocks settled up 1.5 cents at 176.5. Barrels settled up 3 cents at 175. Butter settled up a half cent at 161.5. October whey settled up 5 1/4 at 58.50, and October non-fat dry milk settled up 1 3/4 at 183. Taking a closer look at Class 3 milk prices, October settled up 18 cents for the week at 18.14. November settled at 17.98, up 22 cents. December settled up 12 cents at 17.27, leaving our 2013 milk average at 17.77, which is up 4 cents from last week. So let's take a closer look at our weekly block barrel average chart. Our block barrel average price finished the month of September down 3 5/8 cents at 174, which is the first month down since June. Prices started off in a more positive note and then sold off throughout the end of the month. So now for the first week of October, this week we saw blocks we had 15 carloads trading hands in the blocks and 9 carloads trading hands in the barrels, leaving our block barrel average price up 2 1/4 cents on the week. So let's take a closer look at the fundamental side of things. This week we had a Fonterra auction on Tuesday, October 1st. As you can see here, international prices rose about 2.4%, which is a pretty significant rise in prices from the previous sale, which had about a 0.3% rise in price. This auction had an average price of about $4,980 per ton, and while prices were rising, volume was dropping. There was a 3% drop from the previous auction with 45,253 tons sold. Now, since dairy is a major export earner for the country, it in fact brings more than 7% of their gross domestic product. The results of these increased prices can definitely start to impact the New Zealand dollar. The Fonterra auction is every 2 weeks, and the next auction is scheduled for October 15th. Now, with the government shut down, there's not a whole lot of fundamental news, so the next 2 slides will be taking a look at some supply factors that we have been looking at and that have been overall pretty bearish to milk prices. So let's take a closer look at total cheese stocks. So we've definitely seen a rebound in inventory levels of cheese. From January to April, we've been tracking seasonally. However, as you can see here, we've been seeing record numbers for cheese stocks. So as you can see here, from January to April, we've been seeing that nominal seasonal upward trend. Now, from a year-over-year perspective, we have been up since January. We were up about 5%, and then we peaked up here, and we were about 8%, again, year-over-year. And now, as we come into the holiday season, we've been seeing those inventory levels dropping. So let's take a closer look at our weekly dairy cow slaughter. Now, as a reminder, with the government being shut down this week, we do not have new numbers for you, and hopefully we'll have those updates next week. So what we're going to take a look at now is just an overview of how slaughter's been looking at for the last 3 years and how overall cow slaughter rate has been slowly down, which can also be pretty bearish towards milk prices. So when you take a look at this chart here, you will see the cumulative slaughter numbers growing from January up to December. And you can see from the gap between this red and blue line that the numbers from 2011 to 2012 is significantly wider than the gap between 2012 and 2013. And that's basically, again, between this red line and this green line and this green line and this blue line. So what you're seeing here and what this yellow line is showing is that each month the year-over-year percent change has been decreasing from January now to August. So looking ahead for next week, we have the USDA crop production report along with the USDA supply and demand report out on Friday. As a reminder, there will be no USDA reports if the government shutdown continues into this date. Now that should wrap up our weekend review. On behalf of the advisors here at Stewart Peterson, I'm Melissa Heaney, and have a wonderful weekend.